Hello and welcome to our channel, How We Move the Decimal. In this video, I am photographing 140 slides from 1963, and at the end of the video, you can see some that I've digitally converted and see what they look like. This is still the large quantity of slides I got from the estate sale. I offered them $10 for all of their slides and walked out with a utility wagon full of slides. And so this is all of those. I'm nowhere near being done. I'm nowhere near being halfway through them. And they're taking up a lot of space in my great room and downstairs because it is climate controlled. I cannot put them with the rest of the eBay things. I have an area for things that have to be climate controlled, and then everything else can go in our garage. But these are taking up a lot of space. Granted, once I take them out of the carousels, they do take less space. When I split them up that way and when I make sure there's no mold and go through and look at all of them, I can weed several out. But still, there's a lot of slides going on, and they are long-tailed. They do not sell right away. If you are a brand new eBayer, I would not recommend selling slides. But they're fun and they're easy to get your hands on. A lot of times people just throw them away. So it's nice to have them, and they are the originals. So when I'm selling the photo negatives, I am selling the originals, and whoever gets them has then rights to those pictures because I bought the photo negatives, the originals. I have the rights to these pictures. So I could do with them as I wanted. If I was an artist or something, maybe I could use them. If I was working on a movie set, I could use them. I could make prints out of these if I wanted because they are the photo originals. So slides are unique in that way. I used just a tracing board from Amazon. It was like $14. It's not name brand. It was some weird off-brand, so it's not even anything that I couldn't say, go get this photo light board. I did get a 14-inch one, so this is a 14-inch photo light board, and I do use a legal size piece of paper to diffuse the light on it to make it easier to photograph the slides. I tried several different ways throughout the years to photograph slides, light boards, an actual slide board, but it was vintage and it was really yellow and it was still very hard, and it had an actual light bulb in it, and it would get very, very hot. With this, because it's LED light, it doesn't get hot. I can run it for hours and I don't have to worry about burning myself or burning the slides. With the other board, I did burn my hands a couple times, burn my fingertips touching it on accident because it got just so hot. I had a little tiny one that like projected the image, and that was too time consuming because I couldn't do large batches. I was still like using my phone, using my pad on like the flashlight mode, essentially just the whiteboard mode, and using it that way. And that takes a lot of battery. It burns the pad out because you have to keep the resolution so bright. So I just, broke down and got a light board. And again, it was less than $15. And it by far has been the best option that I've used. Even though I have to use a piece of paper to diffuse it, this is still the best option that I've had when I look at all the other options I've used. The only other thing that comes similarly close to this where I can do a large number is those boards that you can they light up and you put letters on them. And so you can write like signs and stuff on them and like messages. That came close to this, but it still had the breaks where you had to slide the letters in. And that was like dead space to me. With this, I can fill the whole space up with the slides, and I don't have to take my time to slide them in and out of the slots. So that is why the letter board has been the best for me. This it's actually a tracing board, I think, so that's been the best for me. With these slides, the people that I got them from at the estate sale, they labeled them very well. All of them are labeled. Unfortunately, their handwriting is atrocious, and I have to guess on a lot of things, but I could kind of piece them together. I can at least get one word, but they labeled the boxes also, so that helped too, to kind of get everything together. I used to separate these by like event. So instead of doing like all of 1963, I might do like 1963 San Francisco, 1963 Hawaii, because they like to travel everywhere. But I just have so many slides that now I'll do one whole complete year. I'll do like 1963 slides, or 1960s slides, or large lot of scenery, large lot of flowers, large lot of souvenir slides, just to move through them fast. But I still have to look at all of them. I'm so nosy. I'm such a nosy person. I've been nosy my entire life. If there's something going on, I have to know what it is. That's the same with these slides. I have these. I have to know what they are. I can't get rid of them without knowing what they are. I have to look through them. So I have that. This past weekend, I went through an estate sale and I was kind of seeing if they had slides. I don't need more slides, but again, I'm a nosy person. I want to know if they had slides or photo albums or anything like that. I have a couple Super 8 like reels, and I don't know what to do with that because I don't have a video, like a reel-to-reel player. So that's kind of driving me nuts because I want to know what's on those. But I went to the estate sale and I was kind of looking for more slides or for crafting supplies, because those are my two. When I go to estate sales, those are the two things I look for. My husband looks for other things. I look for slides and crafting supplies. And most estate sales, granted, this is the first in-person estate sale I had been to since pre-pandemic. So I was a little surprised by the prices. Maybe if I had been going to estate sales for the past 2 years, I wouldn't be surprised. The prices were really high for especially things that they know can go. So everyone's like, look for vintage dishware, look for the Pyrex, look for, kitchen gadgets, look for this, everybody's looking for those. And since everybody's looking for those, they price really high. Pots and pans were high. I actually need a new spaghetti pot. Our spaghetti pot had a unfortunate popcorn accident, and popcorn got burnt to the bottom of it. So it was a desperate measure when we couldn't find our air popper, and popcorn got burnt to the bottom of it and just destroyed my spaghetti pan. And no matter what I try, I cannot get this burnt oil popcorn off. It just has black spots on the bottom of it. And I have low standards, but my standards are a little higher than that. So I guess my standards are higher than that, but they're not high enough to cause me to go buy a actual spaghetti pan. I was like, I'll wait till I come across one at the thrift store or in an estate sale. So I was going through the kitchen to see if they had any spaghetti pots, and nothing. No spaghetti pots at all. But the pots and pans, the dishes, everything was so high. I don't know if it's because vintage dish patterns are making a comeback, but man, it was like they had vintage Corelle dishes that, like, I think all of us had growing up, the brown and yellow flowers, and they were trying to sell them for $5 a plate. It was just so high. You could buy brand new ones for less than what they were trying to sell these used ones for. And the pots were just outrageous. They had a couple, and because of our area, because of where we are located at, we have Revereware, and because one of the areas in which it was produced is very close to us, so a lot of estate sales will have the copper bottom Revereware. And I was kind of hoping to find a copper bottom Revereware spaghetti pot at an estate sale, or in, a church sale, or at a thrift store. But quite frankly, my best bet right now is probably a church sale, with the prices of estate sales and thrift store prices going up. So I'm hoping to run across that to replace mine. We've just stumbled along without it. So, but I'm not a stranger to the limping along, and I just honestly I can't get myself to spend like $60 on a pot I use like once or twice a month. It is not a must-have. We don't eat spaghetti that frequently in our house. So it's like, ugh, the last couple times I did spaghetti, I used my really large stock pot and just filled it up just a little bit and did the spaghetti in that. So maybe I don't need a spaghetti pot, but I feel like everybody needs a spaghetti pot. This this because it got ruined, it's been, you know, annexed to being a puke bucket or a musical instrument. So it's no longer in the pot rotation, but that's what I was looking for. So I went to the estate sale. I even went on the last day when things tend to be 50% to 75% off. And they had like 75% off books, 50% off all these items, kitchen excluded. So because so many people know the values or are looking for those specific items, they tend to exclude rooms, and like the bathroom was excluded, the kitchen was excluded. They were selling records for 10 cents a piece, and if they were in better quality, I might have bought some, but they were not stored in the best area. We get a lot of rain. Basements around here tend to flood. If they don't tend to flood, they tend to be very humid and full of moisture. The most houses with basements will have dehumidifiers in their houses just to help get rid of that. So the records had been exposed to a lot of humidity. I don't know if the basement flooded or not, but I didn't go down to the basement. It was marked off by the time I got there, which either there was nothing in the basement to begin with or that had already sold and been brought upstairs. It was interesting going to it. There's 3 estate sale companies in our area, and there's one specific estate sale company that I will refuse. So if I see them on the sign, I won't go at all to them. I've had bad experiences with them, and their pricing is really bad, and they tend to have eBay listings up for the items, but they're not the sold listings. They're just what they're listed for. They were and those of you that are old hat at eBay will appreciate this, money laundering with Disney VHSs. So it's a common thing. I am not going to be able to put Bambi up and get $10,000 for it. It's like the not talked about, well-known secret that those prices are jacked up because it's used for money laundering or other nefarious purposes. And maybe they put things in the cases. I don't know, but I'm not going to put Bambi up and get $10,000. However, at this estate sale, they had a bunch of Disney Black Diamond VHSs, which is what are the ones that are really jacked up price-wise on eBay. And the guy had the solds printed out and like on a sheet of paper, and he was trying to sell each one of these VHSs for around $5,000 a piece. Some were $1,000, some were $5,000. And I told him, like, that's like a money laundering thing on eBay. It's not like a price thing. And he accused me of trying to steal from him. He was like, well, you just want to get these for cheap. I'm like, no, actually, I don't want them at all. They are, I'm not going to be able to sell these. And also, a lot of times with old VHSs, if not stored properly, can mold. So you need to be very wary of that. I would say if you are selling VHSs that have been opened, definitely run them, watch them, make sure they have not been molded, make sure they haven't rotted. Some VHSs when played will rot, but the guy got really in my face and was like, you're a liar, get out of my estate sale. So now if it's an estate sale they're running, I just won't go to it.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and where I'll go in life, still nobody knows. But I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes, and ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Back a year ago. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time.